Greetings of the day to everyone present over here. I hope today we have a very great time. Today we have Revnath Kumar sir with us and he is going to give a insightful presentation. I would like to give a brief about Revnath Kumar sir. Sir having experience at lead in SA India of duration 2 years 3 months. And sir having experience Automotive Research Association of India for 4 years 4 months. Now I would like Evan Kumar sir to please come on the stage and I request Dr. Ravishankar V. Chaudhary sir to please facilitate sampling. Now I request Devan sir to please give a beautiful presentation for the students to acquiring their knowledge.
Hello. I know you all are very tired, but I am not going to much deep. I just go through the basic terms which are used in the eBAJA. If you have any queries related to eBAJA in depth, you can definitely ask me. But just to make you active, I just explain what is what, so that you will also aware of everything. And before starting this, who are attending this? Okay. And everyone is meeting? Okay. So it is a very important session for you. It is eBAJA Rulebook. So, as per automobile industry, we have one definition, that is high voltage. High voltage is nothing but voltage which is greater than 60 volts in DC, and in AC it is from 30 to 1000. If the voltage is like this, then we can call it as a high voltage. And anything less than this, it's always called as a low voltage in terms of automotive industry. But in BAJA, it is not like that. We are not using high voltage. So just keep in mind that we are nowhere using high voltage. We are using only low voltage. But in low voltage, we segregate it as a two terms, just for our better understanding and definitions. So the first one is low voltage. So here we categorize anything less than or equal to 15 volts is the low voltage. You kindly observe I kept star mark in all the three definitions. Whatever star is there, that is related to BAJA. The first one is only related to automotive industry. Whatever Tata Motors and Phoenix, like automobiles or electric vehicles, they will use more than 60. So they will come under actual high voltage. So as of now, we are not going into that. So I have already told you low voltage. Anything less than or equal to 15. And the second one is tractive system or tractive voltage, which is having a 48 volt system. If you are working on 48 volt system and up to 60, because we are keeping loading, the top voltage should be only 60. If you are crossing 60, then strictly it is not allowed as per the eBAJA. So whatever the battery packs you are taking, just check the maximum voltage of the battery. That means when you get the maximum voltage of the battery, any idea? Sorry? No, max. Suppose you take one battery, you purchase in a market. What will be the max voltage? When it will come? Yes. Yes, you are correct. I'll remind you. So, when you charge the battery with the full capacity, then you will get the maximum voltage. That is the only case you get maximum voltage. Before going to purchase the battery, you just need to ensure what is the maximum voltage. Because in TI, technical inspection, we are going to check the maximum voltage. We will also check the SOC at the time. We ask teams to charge the battery with 100% and we check the voltage. If it is more than 60, then we do not allow the battery. Then you cannot question us, and even we are also not responsible if you are disqualified. So just make sure that. So for our category, we have low voltage and tractive voltage, that is 48 to 60. I hope that's clear. And the one more thing we have is grounded low voltage. Does anyone know what is grounding and why it is useful? Okay, we will still go in detail in later stages. But grounded low voltage is nothing but voltage system which is grounded to the chassis. If it is separated, then we cannot separate in the sense if the circuit is completely connected with the only positive and negative, then you can call that as a normal circuit. It is not grounded anywhere. And if you connect negative terminal to the chassis, your vehicle chassis part, then you can call it as a grounded. The same we do in housing also, house wiring, whatever you do, you can see the FPs. So what they do, they directly take the negative voltage. That you in AC you do not have negative voltage but neutral. So they take it neutral and directly they do the FP. So those are called grounding or FP. Yes. So the voltage which is grounded, we can call it as a grounded low voltage system. I tell you when to ground and when to not ground. Yeah. In grounded low voltage system, First, we need to choose the source. We'll go one by one. In a low voltage, we have two options, either DC-DC converter or auxiliary battery. You can choose any one type, but not both, because there is no meaning if you choose both. Both are leading to almost output. So why do you want two sources in the vehicle? So this is how we restricted one type. When you are choosing the source of GLE, that is or low voltage, you should choose only one, either DC or auxiliary battery. But if you want many, suppose if you need two DC converters, three DC converters, then you are allowed to use. But you should not use the combination, one auxiliary and one DC or two auxiliary and one DC, something like that. You should not use that. That is regarding the source. And there are few components connected to this source. Those are called this two kill switches, ignition switch, and we have a brake light, ESL, RTDS. All these components are grounded low voltage system components because we are giving 12 volt supply. So whatever the components working on a low voltage, those are called low voltage components. These are few I have mentioned, and reverse light and reversal alarm are not mandatory. If your vehicle is equipped with a reverse gear, then you should definitely provide these two. If your vehicle doesn't have any reverse gear, then it is optional. Yes, and make sure that you are not installing this in a cockpit. So no power source should be in the cockpit, driver's cockpit. Whatever it is, a tracking system or a low voltage system, the sources should not be in cockpit sources. Yeah. I'll just go through these definitions as well. Ignition switch. So when you turn on the ignition switch, your vehicle should have low voltage system. That means when you turn this off, we should not ask anything. Like from our side, we will not check anything whether this component is working or not, because your vehicle will not have a problems. So this is like a kind of main switch. It is just turning on and off regarding the LV switch. And there is a HV rated cutoff switch. So can anyone tell how DC-DC converter will work? How, in the sense, what is DC-DC? Does anyone know? DC-DC, what is DC-DC? Anyone knows? What is DC-DC? Sorry? Okay. Yeah. You can give. Yeah.
सर जो डीसी वोल्टेज है, सर जो डीसी वोल्टेज है उसको वेरिएबल डीसी में कन्वर्ट करना, लाइक अगर हमें किसी स्टेप अप करना है या फिर स्टेप डाउन करना है, वेरी होती है.
Yes. Good. Correct answer. So DC-DC means which always converts from DC voltage to DC voltage. It will not do any AC to DC or DC to AC. The name itself suggests DC to DC. So we can call this as a converters. We have buck converters, boost converters. Buck converter means high voltage to low voltage, 48 to 12 volts or something, or 48 to 5 or 12 to 5. So whenever we are getting a reduced output, that is called a buck converter. And whenever you are increasing the voltage, then you can call it as a boost converters. Yes. And for these converters, there is one term constant. What is that? Anyone have the idea? In terms of voltage, current, and power. Okay, I'll tell you. It is always having constant power. So you cannot increase the power with the help of converters. So for increasing the power, sometimes you need a transformer. That is a different concept where you are actually increasing the power. Here, here also power is constant. Here also power is constant, but voltage is also same, like in terms of DC, and be same. And in our vehicle, we are using buck converters. So those who are using buck converters, they should have this switch, HV rated cutoff switch. This should be placed on 14 volt side, because in your vehicle, when you connect the high voltage battery, it always supplies the power to the DC. So it will be continuously on, though your ignition is off, because you are keeping ignition on a 12 volt side. Ignition should always work on 12 volts. So those who are using DC, this switch is mandatory. So you can keep this at the input side of the DC. Whenever your HV battery is connected and this switch is off, HV cutoff switch is off, your DC-DC converters will always be in off mode. So when you turn on this, then only it will get the supply. Accordingly, it will convert into low voltage when the switch is on. Yeah. And regarding the brakelets, you all know what type of brakelets to be chosen. That is also mentioned in the rulebook. Before buying any brakelet, you can directly refer rulebook and I will kept the images. Whatever homologation is required. We have a different homologations, E5, E7, E9. So those regulations are there. You just refer the rulebook, whatever allowed brakelets are there. You can just see the marking on the brakelet. Don't purchase directly brakelet. When before purchasing the brakelet, you just observe the panel. On that there will be a marking E7, E5, E9, E4. Those will be representing the country's homologation. So just check as per rulebook what is allowed. Accordingly, purchase the brakelet. For reverse light, you can opt anything, but for brakelet, it is not like that. Okay. And kill switches. Type of kill switch is also required. There are different types of kill switches. One is push to kill and pull to energize, which generally eBAJA people uses. I think some of you are from eBAJA background as well, but they generally use push to kill and pull to energize. But we are not using that. We strictly allow push to kill and rotate to energize, which we generally see in any industrial equipment or even electric vehicles also, which we see in the market in Tata Nexon or whatever you take electric vehicle. We generally see push to kill and rotate to energize. There will be a round type one. So those type of kill switches only allowed, and that should also work on low voltage. Yeah. And regarding the e-kit, with respect to the battery, we have limited to lithium-ion chemistry. And type of cells also you need to use lithium-ion cells. That is LFO, LFP, LFP, LCO, Li, MnO2. These type of lithium-ion cells only allowed, and chemistry is also limited to the lithium. And capacity of the battery. When you are taking this, your battery vendor will definitely specify this. The capacity of the battery will not change. At 100% SOC, one rating will be there. It is 0% SOC, one rating will be there. It is not like that. For voltage, it is a different concept, but capacity will always, capacity rating will always be the same. So whenever you are purchasing, just ask him what is the rating of this. If it is crossing 120 ampere, it is not allowed. But if you are opting for a swapping, then you can choose a type of battery like 80 ampere battery 2 number or 90 ampere, whatever is available in the market. That is your strategy, what you are purchasing. With respect to the rating, you can go ahead rating, because when you choose the higher rating, you will just only get higher rating. But obviously your vehicle will also run for more time, but that is depending upon the strategy for which event you are using. Which event in the sense you can generalize all the events. How much my battery should give, how much consumption we are also having. Accordingly, you can choose the rating of the battery. If you need, if you are focusing only on endurance, then obviously you can go for a higher battery rank. But accordingly, you need to get good marks in the other events also, like manuality, suspension, traction. Those events are short in duration, and it should be effective. Vehicle should also be effective, not easily movable. So you should always prefer a lesser weight and all. You can generalize all the tracks and you can go for a rating. But max is 120. Accordingly, voltage limit is also 60%. 60 voltage at 100% SOC. Yeah. And motor you can use any type. Electric motor can be of any type. Even more than 9 kilowatt motor is also allowed. I am telling you again, more than 9 kilowatt is also allowed, but you need to restrict the power at battery terminals with the help of fuse or MCB. Few students generally ask, so my max rating of the motor is 12 kilowatts, whether it is okay or not to purchase that. So this is also allowed. Motor can be of any type, any rating, whatever you choose. Even some will go with the BLDC, some will go with the PMSN, and some will even go for a three-phase induction motor. That is also allowed. Any type of motor is allowed, any rating is allowed. Just make sure that you are limiting the power at battery terminals. That means from the battery you are not even consuming 9 kilowatt at any point of time. How will you calculate this? You can directly divide it by your rated voltage. We have maximum limit of 9 kilo. So you can directly divide 9000 by your rated voltage, let us say 48. So 9000 divided by 48. It is almost 187. So accordingly you can choose the type of fuse. So in AI also we are going to check the fuse. We are going to check the annual ideal voltage, battery ideal voltage, that is nominal voltage. Accordingly, whether have you kept the right fuse or not, we'll decide. Okay. Anyone have any question on this regarding limitation of power? And I think we have already kept clearly in the table as well in the rule book. If your rated voltage lies in particular range, then you should use this particular fuse. Rating also we have definitely mentioned. You can refer that, and if you have anything, you can ask us in form. And throttle pedal, it should be always a Hall effect type. Does anyone know what is the Hall effect type and potentiometer type throttle pedal difference? So throttle pedals are these are electric pedals, right? So it is not a mechanical. In mechanical, how do you when you put the throttle accordingly it will open the inlet pedal. So that is like a normal mechanism. Here, throttle pedal is having a potentiometer. When you press, this potentiometer will vary. Accordingly, the end resistance will vary. Accordingly, it will give the voltage signal to the controller. So, based on that, it will control the throttle and all. But I just want you to understand what is the difference between potentiometer accelerator pedal and Hall effect accelerator pedal. So, in a potentiometer, what will happen? It will vary from 0 to 5, let us say. So if you are in a minimum position you have removed your leg from the pedal. So that means it will show the 0 voltage. So controller will understand that there is no output. And when you press that, accordingly voltage will vary and it goes up to max 5 volts. Suppose in this case, if potentiometer is damaged, again you will get a 0 voltage. No? So here your controller will not understand whether pedal is not working or you are at idle position. So there is confusion here. So that's why we use Hall effect throttle pedal. Here what will happen? If this throttle pedal doesn't work, it will give the 0 voltage to the controller. There, if your controller is really capable of detecting this, then it will show the error that pedal is not working. And if it is at idle, it will give some residual voltage, that's 0.6 or 0.7. So it will vary from 0.7 to 5 volts. This is the full scale for the Hall effect pedal. So with this we can just understand whether the pedal is working or not. That's it. Other than that, remaining function is same for both the throttle pedals. But choose accordingly as per the rule. As per the rule, only Hall effect is allowed. Yeah. Regarding the battery certifications, we have two requirements. One is AS 156 compliance and the other one is IP67. So this is related to the water and dust protection. When you are running this vehicle on road, your battery will face different ambient conditions. So that is like a rainy season or winter season. When you are moving in a dusty area, your dust particles may enter inside the battery. So that might damage the battery. So to protect this, we are having two criteria. One is AS156 and other one is IP67. So whenever you are purchasing the battery, you should ask vendor whether the battery is certified for these two. Then only you should plan for buying. And what we are doing, I also work in eBAJA. We will test batteries and we generally test everything in an automotive field. So we are also in discussion with the electric team. So those who are testing batteries. So if we can get the details from them, we'll definitely share with you. So if your battery is not certified, if your vendor is saying it is customized battery, it is not certified, then you can approach us. We will definitely forward your details to the ARA and we will take how much it will charge. So definitely they will charge less for you. In last year we have not done this testing and before last year we have done that. Maybe for 25,000 they have done the battery testing. So with this you also get to know how industry will be there, like a testing industry. You can visit the area, you can see how vehicles will be coming vehicles from different manufacturers will come and it will get tested also in the area. So you can get to know, and internally battery related parameters will get so many things. So if your battery is not certified, kindly approach us. We will definitely guide you with respect to the AS156 certification. And the other one should be IP67. For IP67, we are also planning to show you some animated videos how to test in-house. So you can test that in-house and you can provide the same for us. This will be communicated later. Yeah. These are the minimum requirements for the BMS. So when you are taking any battery, your vendor will generally say it has a BMS, but he will not say what are the protections he is considering. So I have mentioned the minimum protections to be considered when you are purchasing battery. Just note it down. You can use this when you are having discussion with the vendor. Regarding the charger. So your battery has the limit, like it has a limit in the sense when it is at 100% SOC, it will reach the voltage. It will reach certain voltage. How it will reach? It always depends upon the charger. If your charger is charging at a rate of more than 60 volts, then lithium-ion battery will definitely try to go more than 60. Because the charging is nothing but always potential difference concept. So when you are charging it slowly, your battery voltage will also increase. So when it reaches charger voltage, then charging will get stopped. This is how it will work in general. So if you are charging with a 61 voltage or 62 voltage, then obviously your battery will reach more than that because your lithium-ion cells has also a range. Individual cell has a range. Minimum voltage is 3.2 and max is 4.8, something like that. So depends on how many series they have connected. Let us say they have connected 10. 4.8 into 10 is 48. So this is maximum battery will reach because cell maximum voltage itself is 4.8. So when you are connected in series, then it means it should not cost more than 48. This is technically, but when you try to do this with a charger, then it will cross 48 and it will damage your cells. So whenever you are purchasing this charger also, you need to check the voltage. When you turn on the charger, you can just measure the open voltage at the charger terminals, how much you are getting. So whether it is safe or not, you can decide there itself. And whenever you are bringing this charger to the EM site, we will also see this, how much voltage is getting from the charger output, and accordingly we will allow you. And don't forget that keep the charger leads also in orange. In our vehicle, we have a color in our wiring harness that Mahalakshmi Madam will cover. But just to point out in the charger side, you just highlight this charger leads of charging must be in orange color. Sorry? Yes. So here what you have to do, either you need to go by a conduits. So when you keep the conduits, you can just paint it or you can make it masking with the orange color tape. Something like that you can do. But this was actually a good question. You do not directly do the coloring on the cable. Because whenever you are tracing anything, you will not get to know whether it is positive or negative. In DC, it is very important to identify whether it is a positive or negative template. So just to make it a clear differentiation, you just take any conduit, place everything inside the conduit, and then color it with the orange on the PVC pipes or whatever you are going to use as a insulation. You can color on that, but don't color that directly on the cable. And similarly, GLP should also be in a black color. Yeah. So for this, whenever you see any component, just to identify whether it is a tractor system or not, you can keep a label. This label is actually showing high voltage. This is as per the automotive industry. They will use whenever it is more than 60 volt. But in our BAJA vehicles, just to warn the bystanders or just to let the information passing, to even to the mechanical students also. Even your team has mechanical students. So just to get a better understanding, we will keep this sticker on all the tractor system components. So it just identifies that it is a tractor system, but it is actually not a IoT system. Yeah. Actually, in the tractor system, so whenever you sit in the vehicle, there is a certain procedure to start the vehicle. Here also, even in eBAJA vehicle, sorry, not eBAJA, if you see any automobile vehicle, they will have a certain procedure. When you sit inside the vehicle, directly it will not start. What will you do? Whatever it is, you turn on the ignition first and you will crank the engine. Similarly, we have a certain procedure. I'll tell you what is the procedure in the next presentation that I have covered in the PowerPoint. Yeah. This is your tracking system activity. This indicates your vehicle has a tracking system active. So whenever your tracking system is active in the vehicle, then this light should glow. And when the tracking system is in off condition, this light should not glow. And it has a certain properties as well. It should be with a minimum, it should be blinking with a frequency of 2 to 5 hertz, and it must be in orange color. So you need to look at the 2-3 parameters for this CSL and you can decide. Yeah. Regarding the visibility also, there is a one more criteria. Whenever you are standing 20 meters away from the vehicle, then also it should be clearly visible. We have mentioned that as well in the rulebook. So just go through what are the requirements for the TSL. If you still have any doubt, you can directly keep a photo of your TSL and you can ask us whether this is allowed or not. Whenever it is in a on condition, because in off condition we cannot identify. Because some lights will be looking like this, but those will be constant light, just like this. So continuously it will be blinking, or it will be in orange color, but it is continuously on. So we will not accept that lights. So for your understanding, I can tell you ambulance light. It will just rotate or something like that. So it is having a certain frequency. So you purchase that light for TSL. Regarding the placement also, there should be only one TSL and it should be available on the top of the vehicle. You should not use multiple TSLs. And how to do the mounting and all, it is already given clearly. You can go through the rulebook. The same statements are taken from the rulebook. Yeah. And the other one is RTDS, ready to drive sound. So when you turn on the ignition and when you activate the tracking system, your vehicle should make a certain sound, because sometimes what will happen, without any intention of driver, vehicle will get activated automatically. So in that case, driver will not get to know whether the vehicle is on or not. So whenever tracking system is active, you can just keep this. So I'll tell you how this light will work. You will be giving continuous supply, continuous 12 volt supply to this RTDS, but it will make sound only for a few seconds, hardly for 3 seconds, 1 to 3 seconds, and then it will be in an off condition. Though you give the voltage, like that means it will go into the sleep mode. So again, when you turn off the voltage, turn off the input, and when you turn it on again, still it will make sound, because whenever it gets the input first time, it will make a sound. So these type of alarms are already available. Can anyone give example like this? Has anyone observed any vehicle? Whenever you turn on ignition, it will make sound, and then again when you turn it off, it will not do anything, and when you turn it on again, it will make sound. In our two-wheelers, in our two-wheelers also, even if you take any Activa, whatever is access and all. So when you turn it on first time, it will make a sound, and then it will be in a stop position. So we are not going to stop that sound. Automatically it will be going into the sleep mode. So those type of relays will also be there in the market, like inbuilt right cross right on alarm with inbuilt relay. This will come. You can purchase this. So whenever you activate the tracking system, then it will make a sound, and it should have a certain sound limit also. Minimum requirement is there. Minimum 70 decibels should be there. So there are some alarms with a very minimal sound. So don't purchase that. Check the decibels also, how much it is creating. Yeah, and driver display. So every vehicle will have a display and everyone will have their own strategy, what parameters to be displayed and what information to be given to the driver. All these are customized and it is up to the team. But the main important thing is these three parameters should be displayed at all the times. And we will also check these parameters in the technical inspection. Just note down these three parameters. The battery back voltage, temperature of the battery. The temperature of the battery can be an average value. No need to mention multiple locations. At multiple locations, you can take if you want, you can measure at different places. But just display the average value and state of charge in terms of percentage. So that driver will also understand how much SOC is left and whether I need to do the swapping or whether I need to take vehicle to the pit and charge there for some time and come back for endurance. Because both provisions are allowed. Either you can take a stop, you can charge it, and you can again continue the endurance, or you can go for a swapping. So it all depends on the SOC. So that's why SOC is important for the driver. So these three are mandatory. Other than that, whatever you want to customize, you can keep those parameters. Yeah. Regarding the wiring harness, so wiring harness also what to do and what not to do, we have covered in another presentation. We will show you that. Yeah, this is what I have already told in the starting. Either fuse or MCB should be used at the battery terminals. This is a mandatory component. It is required for the TI. Without this, no vehicle is allowed. If the fuse is also blown or tripped, if you are using MCB, it will be tripped whenever it is crossing the certain limit, certain ampere limit. So at that time, we will analyze first what has happened because why it is trying to pull the more current. So that's why whenever you are using high rating motors, limit that in the controller itself. So your controller will also restrict from taking the battery. If it is not taken from the battery, then your fuse will be safe. Your MCB will also not be tripped. Okay? So accordingly, you need to choose. Whenever you are taking the controller, I suggest you to take the controller from the same vendor itself. Because there will be some tuning procedure and some limitations and all. So regarding the communication protocol also we need to take it on. That's why whenever you are taking the motor, accordingly check for the controller as well. Yeah. Grounding. Here, grounding is nothing but you are passing a huge amount of current to somewhere else. To somewhere else. Suppose if it is not grounded, if there is a circuit, only circuit, that means from positive you have started, you have giving connections to all the components, and you have taken back to the negative. So this is only loop, closed loop, and it is a circuit. We generally call it as a circuit. In this, suppose if anyone touches any terminal or something like that, you will be electrified. So because some amount of power will be transferred to you also via ground. So there should be one parameter to take this one. Suppose if you touch some part, sometimes you will not feel shock. That is because you have provided grounding. That means your grounding is nothing but providing less resistance path in the vehicle. So though you touch the vehicle, your body will have certain resistance. But if you have provided grounding, then it will not have any resistance. So high amount of current will be directly going through the path. So it will not be coming to our body. And when to do and when it is not supposed to do, there is a question. If you see high voltage, if you directly connect this to the body, high voltage battery has a huge amount of power. Your high voltage battery, 40 volts battery has a huge amount of power. Your vehicle is not sufficient to take that power. Your vehicle is not sufficient. Though you give that, there is no use. Because if there is any shock or something like that, then your vehicle will not be safer condition. So entire vehicle will also be damaged. So what we'll do here, for a high voltage, we'll keep the circuit in a closed loop. We will not connect anywhere. But for a low voltage system, we can do grounding. So, but in here, you need to avoid touching the high voltage components because you have nowhere grounded with chassis.
Like you are talking about the grounding, is in a basic you provide the
Where,
in the AC arrangement.
Yes. Correct, correct. That's what I'm saying. In AC, we will be doing directly to the earth. Earth has so much of capability to take the power. Earth has so much of power. So whatever it might be, AC 1000 volts, not 1000, 11 kV, 33 kV, 120 kV, whatever voltage you take in AC, grounding will be there definitely. Because Earth has the capability to take that much power. Your earth is huge, but your vehicle is not that much used. And your disease battery is also a dangerous component. So this much we cannot give directly to the vehicle. That's why we will avoid it.
How will you provide the ground?
We will not provide any grounding. We need to ensure insulation should be done properly. So though you touch the cable, you will not feel anything because it is insulated. So you are not directly touching any metal part or copper inside that. So when you are using DC-DC also, DC-DC converter, don't ground it because some DC-DC converters will have a same negative. That is inside there is a positive negative input side that is 48 and output is also 12 volts, positive and negative. So some DC-DC component manufacturers will use the same negative. Inside whatever negative they are coming to output side, same they will bring that to the output side. So at the right hand side, if you put that to the ground, if you do the negative terminal to the chassis, that means indirectly you are doing your high voltage to the chassis. So that is avoided here. You need to take care of that. Whenever you are using DC-DC, don't do any grounding. Everything will be in a circuit based, not with respect to the vehicle. But whenever you are using auxiliary battery, you can definitely ground the negative terminal because your auxiliary battery has the lesser capacity. Maybe how much it will be? 10 ampere hour, 14 ampere hour max. That is okay. But here our battery pack is 90 ampere hour. So that's why we try to avoid that. And there are two ways to check the grounding. Suppose when you have done the grounding, you can measure the voltage. Suppose you have connected negative terminal to the chassis and measure the resistance here from the negative terminal to the chassis anywhere, not exactly wherever you have grounded. You can measure the other point at anywhere, like other board or other open metal part. There you can see the resistance zero. If you are seeing zero in the sense, entire chassis is connected to the negative terminal. So that's how I have mentioned in this one, third point. Whatever the components which are placed within GLE system or when you are exactly at the GLE system, if you measure the grounding, the resistance should be always less than 300 milliohms. Usually in our multimeters it will show 0 ohms. When you do that, if your grounding is not there, then it will show some value. Also, you can measure the voltage also. The voltage will also be 0. When these two terminals are connected, if you measure the voltage, it is 0. Whether you can measure voltage or resistance. We generally go by voltage method in our technical inspection. That is safer and best. Okay, because when you are not grounded properly, then you will definitely observe some deviation in the voltage. Maybe 3 volts or 4 volts, something like that it will show, or sometimes it will show 12 volts also. If it is not grounded properly. So I suggest you to measure the voltage at the negative terminal and to anywhere of the chassis. So if it is showing 0 volts, that means your vehicle is connected properly to the chassis. Your battery is connected to the vehicle, and it is showing proper grounding. If you do not want any grounding, if you measure the voltage, then it will be max voltage. Suppose if you see a 40 volt system, if you see the 40 volt system, then you will get the complete voltage because you are not touching that to the vehicle. So you will observe that 48 here. Yes, this is about swapping. Only one thing regarding the swapping, those who are opting for a swapping, the secondary battery should be exactly same as the primary battery, whatever you are keeping in the vehicle. That is indirectly it should be replica of your primary. There should be no change in any strategy. Maybe in terms of voltage or in terms of rating, even look wise also, dimensions, everything should be same. And it is not like last year battery and this year you are purchasing one more battery with other dimensions. Those two also cannot be used. So everything should be same because we cannot say when the dimension is changed, there might be change in the cell series configuration and all. So entire strategy will be different for that. So try to avoid that. try to use the same type of battery. Yeah, and those who are bringing the secondary battery, they should have this accumulator handgun. So it is just like a pulley to carry the battery during the event set. It is not safer to carry the battery with your own hands because sometimes lithium-ion batteries directly explode without any reason. Without any reason also it will explode. So we should be in a safer side if any explosion, if any kind of explosion happens. So, okay.
Usually the batteries are all that we buy. That field.
Uh,
So every time, for example, we are not buying one battery backup, and if we are planning to like swap in from next year, can we buy batteries from the same vendor and
Yes, yes, it's actually a good question. So sometimes we'll have financial issues. So what they will try to use the last year battery. If you are trying to do that, whatever new team is there, they want to buy the battery, they should approach the same vendor which they have done last year. So, and they should ask battery should be required with the same dimension, same capacity, everything because these are customized batteries. Even you ask after 2 years also they make and give it to you. So you try to make that the same design and everything should be same. But these cases should be avoided. But we are just giving some leisure here. If you want to use this, then approach the same vendor and ask him to give the same design. Yeah, and for a hand cut, as I told you, just to avoid this all the damages and all, we will use the hand cut. And when you keep the battery in the hand cut, and you should cover the battery also. So battery will be completely inside the container. Nothing will be open to the atmosphere. Yeah. These are some observations which we have observed last year during the TI. These are like major mistakes which we observed from the teams. So whenever you are making the vehicle, you just consider these points also. Accordingly, you can approach us if you have any idea or if you need to overcome this. And if you have doubt to use that, you can definitely approach us. We will help you in that manner. Yes, that's it. Any other thing? Any inquiries from your side? Either. So, my.
Polymer type and potentiometer type का package देता है.
Potentiometer varies from 0 voltage to 5 voltage. So whenever the potentiometer is not working, it will show 0 voltage. When it is idle position also, initial position also, it will show 0 voltage. So the working voltage of the potentiometer will vary from 0 to 5. But for a Hall effect, working voltage will vary from 0.6 to 5. 0.6 or 0.75 residual voltage to max scale, 5 voltage. Here, the advantage of using the Hall effect is whenever it is not working, it will show 0 voltage.
How do we know like throttle is not working, pedal is not working?
That's right. If the controller gets 0 voltage, then it is not working. Because Hall effect will show 0.7 minimum. Minimum it will show.
अगर zero show किया तो
अगर 0 दिखाएगा वो गया.
सर सराउंडिंग हम लो वोल्टेज जो टर्न उन्हीं को करेंगे सर.
Those who are using auxiliary battery, smaller battery, those who are using DC-DC converter, they should not do anything. For active system, you should not do anything. Grounding to करना ही नहीं. It is completely avoided. But for a low voltage also, whenever you are using auxiliary battery, do that. If it is a DC-DC converter, don't do anything. Directly keep the connections, whatever you need, positive you need to connect, that's it. Nowhere include the vehicle.
सर तो ग्राउंडिंग के लिए जो सेकंड टर्मिनल होगा उससे कहाँ पे हम पावर किधर कर सकते हैं?
Grounding second, that is a return path, negative path. Whatever light or component you take, that is positive or negative. So you can give positive to the battery. Here nowhere vehicle is included. So grounding the concept in here. You can close the circuit from positive to negative. So that can be done.
Thank you so much.
So this motor has to be IP67. Yes. Motor has to be IP67. We will not have any AX applicability for that motor, but you need to ensure that is IP67 motor.
So it's a 100 and we can use a motor like
like PMS and PLEs. I'll just check with them whether they have this or not. Because some PMS motors are IP67 certified. PMS motors advertise so they are lower than application like for more than 5 No, BLDC motors are not certified, not certified for IP67. But if whenever is saying it is certified, then he might be lying. So if first you take the certificates from you and then do the payment, whatever you want to do. Before taking any certificates, don't do anything. Next. Yes. इसको
पीछे से
So if we are buying a PLC model, then what we should have as a backup that its controller and its motor board, or either one of them would work, like only controller as a backup would work. We cannot say like that. See, motors will run good. You need to focus only on control part. Control is the critical part and is the brain of the vehicle. There are high chances that controller will fail at any point of time. Motors will be always in a safe condition. They are made for robust, and it will run for almost many hours. I can even whatever we are using in electric vehicles, all the motors are good. We do not have any bad feedback. Only you need to ensure battery and control. These are the critical components. So if you are planning for a backup, then you can plan for these two, not for a motor, as far as I know. Okay. Okay, we'll continue for a wider conversation. Thank you.